when you embody your power, you are not afraid of the power in other people, in other leaders, and you can co-lead. The same applies to when you are interacting with your family, your friends, your community. Perhaps you have a spiritual business and you are working with your clients. There is no hierarchy. You don't see them below you or above you. You are equal, always. What are the signs of spiritual feminine leadership, and how can you cultivate it in yourself and your life? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia Salow, and I help lightworkers, starseeds, priestesses, and leaders to remember who they are. And I do so inside of my mystery school of remembrance, where I guide people to step into their highest potential, to remember their power and their gifts, and to channel it into a life they desire. And today I want to talk about feminine leadership. This is something that's available to you regardless of your gender. And it's also available to you regardless whether your leadership is very visible or it's just something that you are embodying. I truly do believe that leadership is a skill, is an aspect that we need to cultivate in ourselves, regardless of what kind of specific form it takes. Because you can lead yourself, you can lead through your example inside of your family, your community, or you can lead on a bigger scale. And as we are exploring this topic of leadership, it really is helping you to become the highest version of yourself, because it will guide you to refine different aspects of you. Inside of my spiritual leadership, which is one of the levels of my mystery school of remembrance, we walk through like 10 different aspects related to leadership. We walk through power, using your voice, being visible, leading yourself, leading with other people, and so on. And these things is something that we all need to cultivate inside of ourselves. And then, of course, it naturally transcribes into our environment. So these are the 7 pillars of feminine leadership. The first one is that feminine leadership comes from the heart, intuition, and the soul. So it's not so much about being in the mind and analyzing things. No, it's more like you need to be led by the divine energy so that you can lead. So you are not like getting in the way. You are able to put the ego aside. You are able to put your expectations aside and to truly act on your heart, your intuition, and your soul. This, of course, means that it's so important to cultivate our connection to our heart and soul. So you maybe are in that chapter of your life where you find out, oh, my heart is not fully open. And so you are peeling off layer upon layer, healing your heart. And this deepens your leadership. And you also learn how to connect to your soul, which, of course, when you work with your heart chakra, the higher heart chakra, it helps your connection with your soul as well. But you always lead from your heart, intuition, and soul. When your intuition tells you to do something, to act on something that maybe doesn't feel exactly comfortable, you still know that you have to end up doing it. You really trust your intuition. You know how to distinguish it from the ego, the fear. And this is something that gets better with practice, right? Like the more you connect to your heart, soul, and intuition, the deeper your leadership is. The next pillar of leadership is power. And here I mean the soul power. This is how your soul wants to be channeled through you into this life and change your life and also reach other people. So we are translating who we are on the inside into the external world. And when you are tapping into your power, you are actually aligning yourself with the divine will. You are tapping into something beyond your individuality, beyond the ego, beyond the mind. And that's why staying in your power is so important. For any feminine leaders, the topic of power is truly important. How to embrace it, how to balance it with love, how to be in the true power which doesn't have any ego, which is just a pure energy that flows through you. These are usually the lessons where you work most on, where you are cultivating yourself, as you are exploring how to step into your power and how to stay there. This is equally important as stepping into your power. How not to drop it when things get difficult, when things get challenging. Can you still trust and know and follow the guidance of your soul, even though it feels difficult? Can you still show up when it matters, but maybe you don't feel like it? So you see, this feminine leadership isn't just like about emotions or intuition. We also need to balance it with power and self-leadership. So it's this beautiful dynamic, this dance within us that helps us to truly bring the best possible form of leadership, which inspires other people. So when you are able to show up as your highest self in any situation, you are always in your power, and deep down this is something which you desire more than anything. And of course it's a journey, it's about practice, it's about taking daily action, because every choice matters. In every single situation you can choose to show up as your highest self or not. This is where you have free will, and this is where you cultivate your leadership. The next pillar of feminine leadership is that you guide other people through your spiritual gifts. And so you put your gifts into service of other people. You know that you are here somehow to serve other people, because a true leader is strong enough to be in the service to others and to the divine. And you do so through your spiritual gifts. And so as you are getting to know them, cultivating them, refining them, you are able to guide and help people more and more. And a big part of this is learning to trust your gifts. You really need to understand them. You need to have experience, because this builds confidence in your own leadership and in yourself. And I see it so many times inside of my mystery school of remembrance when people first join and they are like unsure of how to embody their gifts. They are maybe not even clear on what their gifts are, and they don't really like believe in themselves. And then they start to trust themselves on the most deepest level. And for me, it's so beautiful to watch this time and time again, because when this happens, I'm always thinking, you are great. Like if you have this, if you know how to trust yourself, you know how to tap into the guidance of your soul, which is a consequence. You understand yourself, you know who you are. You don't have any problem. It doesn't mean that your life will be free of challenges, but you'll be able to move through everything from this higher level of consciousness, and it's going to make you even stronger. And so this is really important, learning to trust yourself. And you trust yourself by knowing who you truly are on the deepest level. This is so important. And once you know it, once you embrace it, you use your beautiful spiritual gifts to help other people. And the next pillar of feminine leadership is that you have this deep inner knowing. It's not even about like feeling something or I think it's this way. No, it's a knowing. And this knowing actually comes from the remembrance of who you are. It comes from the wisdom, the gifts, the lessons you have cultivated in different lifetimes. So you are not a newbie in this world, right? Like you have a rich history, your soul's history that you can tap into. And you may or may not know your past lives, but you may still intuitively tap into it when you are connected to the heart and the soul. And you always trust your inner knowing. When you just know something, you act in alignment with that knowing. And this makes that knowing even stronger. You are again able to trust yourself even more and trust the divine. And so you get into this beautiful state of surrender. You again let yourself be led by the divine. And this is so key. And that's why when you just know something, take action. See how your life changes. If you know that you should do something or something is good for you, what would happen if you actually embraced it? Now imagine if you always acted in alignment with your inner knowing. Can you imagine how your life could change? Can you imagine how your life would be if you stopped stopping yourself and overthinking and overanalyzing? Like all of it is good, but it's not beneficial to us. It has its value sometimes, yes. But usually if you have to overanalyze something, it means that you are not tapped into your intuition. You are not tapped into your trust. You are not tapped into the divine. You are disconnected. Because if you are connected, you don't have to second guess everything. And so you trust that inner knowing always. It comes first. The next pillar of feminine leadership is that you lead through your embodiment and through your integrity. And so when you are tapped into your soul and your heart, they will naturally expand you. You will tap into your deepest soul desires, and it's going to guide you to become the best version of yourself. And as it happens, you begin to embody who you truly are. So instead of living out of conditioning or being tapped into that negative ego, you really give yourself freedom to explore who you are on the deepest level. And not only that, but you step into it. So you receive those visions, those dreams for yourself, and you take action. You do those things that you see yourself in your mind, in your vision doing. You become it. You embody the energy. And as you do so, there will be people who need to see exactly your embodiment. It will be an invitation for them, an inspiration. It will be a reminder. And then they start tapping into their own embodiment and into their own soul. And this is how you lead. On whatever level you lead, it always needs to be embodied. So you walk first. You master those things first. And then it naturally emanates from you. And people get it. People get so much more when they see that something is embodied than, let's say, if they just read a book about something and it was just intellectual. Just like small babies learn from parents by observing them. This is how you lead. You need to become it. You become your own testimony. You become the person of your dreams for yourself by following your soul. And this is going to inspire other people. And all of that is done in integrity. So you genuinely want to build your leadership on the right values, whatever those values for you are. You are in alignment with your inner self, your truth. And you don't do things just because everyone else is doing them. It doesn't matter. If it's not aligned with your integrity, it's not the right thing for you. And so integrity is also a very essential, key part of feminine leadership. The next pillar of feminine leadership is that you intentionally step into the unknown. And you do it all the time. You can take a break for a while, but you always continue expanding. Because the feminine leadership, the feminine energy is supposed to keep expanding you. The feminine energy is like bringing spirit into matter. There are always more desires, there's always more expansion, there's always more creativity. It never ends. And because of that, you always feel yourself being guided to the next level, to the next dream, to the next vision, to the next form of embodiment. And it never ends. And so you are stepping into the unknown. You give up the idea that you are safe when things are static, when things are predictable. And instead, you learn to feel safe and good in expansion. You understand that it's the expansion that actually brings safety and peace within. And so you give yourself permission to fully follow your soul, wherever it guides you. And yes, it's okay to take time to work through your limiting beliefs, because they will naturally show up when you are expanding, when you are stepping into the unknown. You do so consciously. Again, that's what we do inside of Spiritual Leadership Program, because this is so essential. You don't let it stop you. You move through it and you continue following your soul. And so you are always stepping into the unknown. You are always growing and going to the next levels, because you know that your potential is limitless and your being is limitless as well. There are so many aspects within you that you can embody, you can explore, you can lead from, and you are just excited about it, like you are done stopping yourself. You are done with waiting or wasting time, procrastinating. It's not attractive to you anymore. And if you feel that you should do something, you truly step into it intentionally. Not just like I close my eyes and I jump and I hope. No, you look at yourself and you see, okay, this is where I'm called to go. And these are my limiting beliefs or fears. And I need maybe help with that. And you start to work with your fears consciously, intentionally. You don't let them outgrow you. No, you sit down with them, you face them, and then you move on. You also make sure that you have some kind of like guidance or plan on how to step into those dreams. And this doesn't have to be detailed. It shouldn't come from the mind. It comes from your soul. But you have that bigger picture in place. And then you move, then you go. And the last pillar of feminine leadership is collaboration. So as a feminine leader, you are not afraid to lead with other people. You are not afraid to collaborate, where it feels aligned, of course. But when it does feel aligned, you are sharing and you are inviting other people into your leadership, because the feminine energy is so much about inclusion. It's about letting people in. It's about leading with other people. And how can you lead with other people without losing yourself? Is by embodying your power. This is the key. And so when you embody your power, you are not afraid of the power in other people, in other leaders, and you can co-lead. The same applies to when you are interacting with your family, your friends, your community. Perhaps you have a spiritual business and you are working with your clients. There is no hierarchy. You don't see them below you or above you. You are equal, always, because you work soul to soul. You see their soul, and you can see their soul because you have connected to your own soul. And there is no hierarchy. When people come to you, You don't see them through the identity, you don't see them through what's their job, how so-called evolved they are, or whatever. You include them, you embrace them, and you see into their soul. With my beautiful clients, I never see it like they come to me and I'm some guru. No, I see that we are co-creating together. I see it like a beautiful thing that their soul led them into my mystery school of remembrance. And I'm excited about the work we will do together. I work with them on the soul level, higher self, and multidimensional level. And there we are just co-creating. And it's such a beautiful thing. There is no hierarchy, there's no better or worse. It's just like coming from a place of curiosity of what we can experience together, what we can remember together. What are we supposed to do together? Because we were brought together by the divine energy. And so there is something greater than us. And so you want to explore it from this space of playfulness, curiosity, open mind, and open heart. So these are the 7 pillars of feminine leadership. You can always cultivate them, no matter what your specific form of leadership looks like. Because all those pillars, I believe, is something that can expand us and make us a better beings. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. And I see you next time.